This is Mai Harrison, and I'm with three performers from an exciting production that is going to be at the Forum in September. Thank you for joining me. Could you tell me who you are and what roles are you going to play in this production?
Hi, my name's Stephanie Nobler, and I am playing Marilyn Monroe, number one.
Hi, I'm Jamie Lee Curry, and I'm going to be playing Marilyn Monroe, number two.
And I'm Claire Charlotte Ball, and I'm going to be playing Marilyn Monroe, number three.
Okay, clearly there's a theme going on here. What's the name of the production?
It's One Night with Marilyn, and it will be on at the Forum 28 in Barrow-in-Furness on the 19th of September at 7 p.m. And if you do want to get tickets, they're free, and you can just get them at the box office in the Forum.
Okay, so this is going to be at the Forum, and it's a bit of a different production than I think a lot of us are used to. Like we go and we will see the pantos or the comedians, or sometimes you'll have a play, but it's a play, but it's a little bit different. So how will it work?
So it's called a rehearsed reading. So it's in the very beginning stages of the production. Basically, it's where the actors, so we get the script, and we'll be putting on that show literally as we're reading the script. So it's not a full production. It's not got lights, costumes, scenery. It's just us as actors reading the script as we've been given it. We've had a couple of small rehearsals beforehand, but it's in the very, very early stages. And the reason for that is it's a brand new production that's been written by P.T. Rose, and it's in the process of being produced worldwide.
Okay, well, what does that mean? I did a little bit of research, and when I looked up the name of the play, it seemed like there was lots of different places around the world who were all putting on this production together. So how is that going to work? How does the Barrow production fit into that? And is there going to be something, because it is a read through rather than a full play, the audience has a different role than just being passive, sort of taking it all in. So how's that going to work?
So basically, the writer has given the rights to a producer, Karen Struhl White, to produce this play throughout all over the world. Obviously, she's got a lot of connections everywhere from London, New York, even it's being produced in India. And what we're going to do is we're going to collaborate all of the information that we get given from the audience, all the feedback, that'll all be collaborated and then taken into account to kind of develop the play. We're still unsure as what that will entail, whether it'll be developing the script or getting ideas for scenes, for scenery or costumes, for instance. But yeah, it's basically just to get all the information from the audience and see what they would like from the show itself as well.
I was wondering, Jamie Lee, you're each playing a different version of Marilyn Monroe. So how do those sort of characters blend together? How do you react to each other when you're sort of different versions of the same person?
So I guess you could call the play an exploration of mental health, and how that can impact a person. And obviously it's quite well documented that Marilyn Monroe obviously struggled with that, whether that was through kind of the party lifestyle or whatever that she lived in Hollywood and things, or whether that was forced on her and things like that. It's obviously I'm really sorry, I'll start again. It's explored that way. So the three Marilyns are Marilyn at different stages of her life. Marilyn Monroe 1 is Marilyn Monroe as she is when she's admitted to this kind of mental hospital. Marilyn Monroe 2 is Marilyn in her prime, so like she's the Hollywood star Marilyn. And Marilyn Monroe 3 is Marilyn Monroe as Norma Jean, so as she was as a young girl before she created this Hollywood star persona.
It's really, really interesting. And as a fan of old movies, I find it fascinating. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about the sort of themes in the play as you describe, sort of sort of the overarching sort of mental health, but also the way that you bring these characters to life. So thank you so much. We're going to listen to a song and then we'll be right back. So I am speaking with three of the performers from a very special production that's coming to Barrow the Forum on the 19th of September. It's A Night with Marilyn. And I have the three Marilyns here with me, Steph, Jamie Lee, and Claire. Steph, you are sort of Marilyn, the original. You're the one that we're sort of first sort of dealing with. You have these other two Marilyns with you, though. How do you interact together?
Well, fundamentally, we're all three of us are Marilyn Monroe at different stages in our life. So essentially, I'm Marilyn Monroe towards the end of her life, and I am so in the mental health institution, whereas Jamie Lee is in her prime, so Marilyn Monroe when she was glorified by everybody, and Claire Charlotte Ball is Marilyn Monroe when she was known as Norma Jean, when she was actually before Marilyn Monroe was born, really, I suppose, and that was Marilyn Monroe as a child. So, and the way that we interact is fundamentally there in voices within my head, are some of which might be memories, some might be distorted memories, but yeah, they are. Only I can see these two Marilyns in terms of the real world. So yeah.
Well, the title of the production is called A Night with Marilyn. So it sounds like a very specific event. Is this a real event, or is this something that sort of come out of the playwright's imagination?
It's definitely something that has come out of the playwright's imagination. It's an exploration, really, as we said before, about mental health and how, you know, relevant it all still is today. I guess the message that we want to get across, really, and we want the audience to kind of help us figure out how we're going to get that message across, is, you know, would we let this happen today, you know, really, and how it is actually still happening today, how it's happening, but it's much more insidious, you know, than the outright kind of blatant sexism and, you know, things like that were going on back when Marilyn Monroe was kind of in her prime, shall we say.
Well, I think that's an interesting point, because we know that she died in 1962, and she was very young, a young woman when she died. And the things that we do know about her life is that she was exploited. So is that something, do your Marilyns know that that's happening to you? Do you think that because of the situation, you've got a very young Marilyn, sort of becoming a starlet Marilyn. So are you aware of that being exploited, or being sort of put in a position that you didn't necessarily want to be in?
I think as the play develops, there's lots of revelations throughout it for Marilyn, and as she starts to realize maybe things like rejection or loneliness, or living a double life, and the need to be loved, and noticing them things about her and how that makes her feel. So I think that there are definitely revelations throughout the play to her that helps her to understand why and where she became ill, or influences that affected her mental health, at least.
I think I hadn't really put it together, but we're talking about events that happened 60 years ago, really. So do you think that there is sort of a connection to, you know, what it's like now? I mean, we are talking about a different country and a different, you know, century, but do you think it's still relevant?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think as well. I think one of the things that is quite harrowing is that it is noticeable on media and TV and celebrity lifestyle now. The mental health is huge. Like, there's plenty of recent stories about, for example, maybe the Britney Spears situation or Caroline Flack, or things that have happened that shows that it's rather than just seeing this play as a caricature of Marilyn Monroe and what she went through. I think you could do more with it and actually look at the impact that being in the limelight and the manipulation that sometimes being in the limelight can bring can affect your mental health. So yeah.
Well, I love. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, just although it doesn't happen maybe quite kind of outright as it's being explained in the play and things like that, or you know, as we have this image in our heads of how it will have happened back then in the 60s and the 50s and things, it still happens now. It's still very relevant. It's like I said before, it's just a lot more insidious.
Well, I mean, honestly, it sounds like an amazing production. And I love the fact that it's a work in progress and that as an audience, we get to be a part of that progress. I just want to remind everyone that this is One Night with Marilyn. It's September 19th at 7 p.m. and it's free at the studio, the Forum. You will need to go ahead and sign up for those tickets, and always do, because it sells out very quickly. Thank you so much for being on the show. I've really enjoyed learning about the production and also the sort of insights that you're bringing to it. So thank you so much. And I hope I get to see you. I hope I get to be a part of the audience on the 19th of September.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you.